Good morning, guys. Another episode of the Beach Buggy Builds. I'm Carl Galler with Carl Galler Builds. Um, Forging ahead, had to put kind of put the quest for the exhaust tubing bending on the back burner. I'm going to try some other avenues. There's nobody around here that does mandrel bending, so we'll figure it out. Suggestions are going to always be welcome. So we're going to forge ahead. We're going to start cutting on the other side. I've made that template. I'll show you that in a moment. I mean, I've already showed it to you once, but here. So I've actually cut out the template so I can draw a line on the other side of the car. Of course, I'll be flipping this upside down or backwards. The important things are my datum points. So I've got a mark here, which I have transposed to the bottom side. And I have this very top edge. Okay, so the important thing is to measure. So I measured from here to here, which is with the rubber, this rubber right here, just the end of the tape. So it's 3 1/8 to the end of this, and that is exactly where that point is. It sits flush. That's where that template sits. And then back here, the back arrow, and I've measured measured that from the same datum point. So theoretically, and based on my knowledge when I was a machinist way back when, if you have a couple of good datum points, you're off to the races. So we shall see. And this is what it's all about, to see this lovely lady, Miss Candy, driving this neato beach buggy down the boulevard. So I ain't no bad Chad, but I got a beautiful Candy helping me with this build. So here's an interesting challenge, which I kind of anticipated. So there's a bit of curvature here, right? We see body lines have a curve to them, even just a slight bow here, which is going to be a challenge when I get my bent pipe back, if I'm able to kind of tweak it into conform with this. But the other challenge is when I made the template, of course, we're going with a flat piece of cardboard. We're going straight across, one-dimensional, flat. It's not taking into much account of the curves. So when we translate all the datum points onto the other side, we can start at that exact same datum point at the front. And as it curves, this curve, see, this is my body gap line on the other side. We're off a 1/2 inch here. This last cut here, we're off about a 1/2 inch here. So the way I'm going to tackle that is I am going to trace it out the way it is right now, and we will make the cut. I'll cut to the inside of those lines, leaving some margin, and then I'll refit the template once we have that kind of single-dimensional, two-dimensional plane, that straight plane that goes across. I will use the template again and adjust for those final cut lines. Hopefully that works out. Wish me luck. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more shall I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. Getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. I gotta learn my drinking song. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. And it's no, may never. All right, so that gives me something to work with. Hate to cut twice, but I'm gonna kind of cut to the inside of this line. Maybe not that much, but sure I could probably sheet it the way it sits right now. You know, I don't know that you'd be able to pick up with the naked eye, you know, the difference, that 1/4 inch difference. Well, you know how it goes. I know, I would know, so I'm going to try to get it perfect. Yeah, might as well. All right, I'm off to the races. I'm going to spare you 2.5 hours of grinding. Not sure that it's necessary. I might take some footage, but you'll certainly see the finished product. Till then. There's one other thing that I am going to test out today. So I've been using this 40 grit. Oh, never mind. I just realized I'm such a dumbass. 40 grit masonry. 40 grit metal. 40 grit me. Well, I got about 1.5 minutes of grinding in my old grinder. I don't even know where I got this thing. Oh, looks like it was probably an old Harbor Freight grinder. But this one, I mean, I think I bought used. I mean, the thing doesn't owe me a penny. It gave up the ghost, and I'm not even going to fool with it because I anticipated this moment, and I have, yay, a brand new Harbor Freight grinder. Always pays to think of it. Eureka! Body panel number 2. I should have done this from the very beginning. Somehow sealed the fuse panel because I want to make sure that I wasn't throwing a bunch of these metallic, clearly magnetized little particles into the fuse panel. I'm hoping everything works okay. I'll take a look at it in a little bit. But it's most of the first cut. And this will be a little bit easier because last time I tried to preserve all this structure on the other side. Now I'm just going to cut the crap out of the same seams that I did on that side. Cut here, and cut here. And then have to cut some of this structure in here. Alrighty, wish me luck. Layers of the onion. I learned a lot from doing the other side, so rather than being so careful to be surgically, you know, precise, I went ahead and started chopping the crap out of these back members. So I've cut here, I've cut here, I've cut all the way down here, so that's released. I've cut the front of this. Now I'm going to chop this out just to get rid of it. I'm going to chop it in front of this hardened rod. I learned the hard way on the other side. So I'm going to chop it down here. And that should release my main structure. And then I can fine tune it. All right, did those cuts. I always do this, and then I end up getting the grind. Jesus. Oh, this damn thing. This thing weighs probably, I'm gonna say 12 pounds. A lot of guys are saying hope you're thinking about putting reinforcing and structure. And I'm like, who needs this shit? Who needs structure in their life? Yeah, obviously I've thought about it. It's a little spooky. We'll figure it out. So one of the things that I've learned is the measuring from datum points is more important than the template, because some of these dimensions, even with the template, are not exact. So like this one, this dimension here from this corner is about 3.5, 3.25. And on the other side, I'm like an inch farther. So I'm gonna have to tweak this stuff, which I'm, about 3/4 of an inch, about half an inch, excuse me, half an inch difference. Which I'm really not happy about, but you know, it's a learning process. So here I'm at 9 inches, and on the other side I'm at just shy of 8.5 inches. So, you know, I'll probably be able to fudge that with my cap, come up the ½ inch, but I do want, you know, symmetry. I think I've got this dimension pretty close. That's never going to change because that comes to here. But where this lands, let's see, where this lands from this back seam, just straight angle, it's 18 to the edge of the trim. And it's 18 to the edge of the trim. So, I mean, that's okay, you know. The most critical thing is what we're going to be doing around these umps, because that's where our roll bars are going to mount back here. So the dimension of this metal in association with this platform is critical, and I think I've gone pretty much lower. This is 10 inches. Yeah, it's not bad. I know that this is a little narrower here. So anyway, I'm letting you in on some of my trials and tribulations, and I have not laid one spark to metal yet, so I don't know what my skills are going to be. Yeah, this edge looks so much farther back from that pocket than the other side, but the other side I've trimmed it down, so I guess I won't really know until maybe not, until I trim it down the same on both sides. All right, wish me luck. Keep plugging away. So this is not hateful. I've got the template in. Marks line up pretty good. You can see over here I went a little aggressive. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I don't know how. I think it's because of the curvature here. So what it did was I don't know. But anyway, you can see I'm about a ½ inch here, or 3/8 of an inch. I'm a little low down at the bottom. It's not horrific. I think I can probably, once I get the tubing formed the way I want it, I'm going to be able to kind of fudge that. I think I'll easily be able to fudge that 3/8 of an inch one way or the other, depending on how I mount this, and then it's all going to be welded in. and of course, you know, body worked. But this is my, excuse me, this is my seam. This is where my door seam is supposed to be. And, you know, right, once again, this should have been this radius. So it's a little low. But I was kind of freaked out a little bit. And I thought that it was a lot lower than, or, you know, that I'd have to add a lot of sheet metal on. I don't think I have to add any sheet metal on. I think it'll be a matter of welding in my tubing and then my finish work. I was able to cut this out. See, that's a thick structural member. Now I only cut out 1.5 inches, 2 inches of it. This little piece right here, that's got to weigh, you know, 8 ounces, 10 ounces. But got this all cut out. So I finished this side with all this additional work, probably 2 hours quicker than the original side, but the original side was very much exploratory. Sorry if you hear any wind noise. So, and then I had gone ahead and cut the front of this out. Of course, I left that part, and that's the other thing that I might do. That would be an area where I would put some body work into it. So that lump comes up to here and to about here. So do we swoop, do a little lumpy swoop? You know, I like my little swoopy dupes. And then the roll bar will be coming out here. So that would be an area where I'd have to add some skin to it. I'm not really sure. I don't love that. I love the whole open part, but it kind of makes sense to do it that way. So we'll see. All right. Well, let's see. Do I finally have some sunshine on my face? Finally. So I'm not using the tripod, but I think that's it for this particular little episode. So I'm Carl Galler with the Carl Galler Builds. I hope you all like, share, subscribe. Hey, I don't know if you noticed on my last episode, I learned how to put some subtitles in. So soon I'll be able to put those kind of like, hey, subscribe and links and all that good stuff. So I'm getting there. Anyway, really appreciate it. I'm getting some really great suggestions, some good love, you know, some criticism. I love when people say, hey, what about the structural integrity of that vehicle? And I just kind of play along with it and say, oh, shoot, was I supposed to worry about that? Obviously, I'm worried about it. So, well, we'll see. Anyway, I am out. Thanks, guys.